is presenting and participating in video conferencing. So during our professional development practica and some residencies, we use Adobe Connect as our learning environment. How we present ourselves is tremendously important. This module discusses presenting and participating in video conferencing. It is a new world. Video conferencing has rapidly matured in the last few years. I want to discuss the trends, the considerations that you may want to take into account as in presenting yourself to the world and preparing for video conferencing, both as a faculty member and as an engaged student. In this wired and unwired world in which we live, we are on almost all the time. Business and education has seen the value of using video conferencing. This is a quote: "Companies pay from $15 per user per month for hosted web conferencing rather than $2,000 per person per business trip." By the way, this has a huge environmental impact in reducing a university's effect on the environment. Gartner predicts that by 2010, web conferencing was available to 75% of corporate users, and from 2006 to 2011 across Europe and the Middle East and Africa, the web conferencing market has grown at a compound annual rate of 27%. The National Center for Education shows that 18.2 million students will be enrolled in distance education courses by 2013. The byword of business is collaboration. Streaming media takes much of the cost out of collaboration, providing multimedia presentations that can be viewed in real time or on demand. Information is available to all concerned parties almost immediately and provides security so that no unsecured data ever leaves the place of business. The next technology being sought is believable simulation of touch. These are technologies that accurately and believably mimic touch that will enable the next generation of hands-on telepresence systems, which will remotely control sophisticated robotics for medicine, manufacturing, and delivery of specialized services. The science of creating sensory simulations that mimics touch is known as haptics. For telepresence to grow beyond its current commercial applications, in enterprise conferencing, medical intermediation, hazardous environment, workforce displacement, and military technology, providing a high-quality haptic user experience is key. Strong leaders communicate well. When I was teaching at Venlo College in Atherton, California, a trustee who helped fund the college's endowment told me a story about a telegram he sent to his business partner in the last century while his partner was on a ship. The telegram got garbled, and because of it, the business lost a major opportunity and lots of money. Today, there are so many tools at a leader's disposal for communicating well and often. Educational leaders have the same rich resources available. Learning about them and using them in an intelligent, informed manner is critical to communicating well. Literally, the world awaits you. How you present yourself to a worldwide audience is important. So let's do an eye check. Which image do you like best and why? And here we go. This one, or this one, or this one, this one, or this one, maybe this one, or this one, or this one, and finally this one. The concept we're exploring is framing and using the standard of framing of the torso in thirds. So if you can imagine a grid that is divided into 3 by 3 and you can fit yourself within it, then you're doing fine in terms of framing your image. Our own Dr. Jim Henderson does a great job in framing. He's always appropriately lit, his background is interested, and he's framed in perfect thirds. So let's take some time to look at how you are presenting yourself. This is a typical Adobe Connect screen for video conferencing, and this is how we present ourselves to the world. Just take a look for a second. Mercy, 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 mercy. Have mercy on your viewers. This is about lighting, and it isn't only lighting, it's background, the dancing clowns or children on tricycles or birds, cockatiels, or dogs barking that make for a poor image of yourself, but also disrupt the video conferencing experience. So let's take a look. Our own dean, some of you in your home environment, light shining off your glasses, light behind you, lighting behind the top of one's head, backlighting that's silhouettes, backlighting that's silhouettes, backlighting that's silhouettes. Not enough light on the face. Now, is it only the students and the dean that have these problems? Oh no. Take a look at our faculty. Not well positioned, overlit, expressions. So the faculty need to pay attention as well. So turn some light on and illuminate your face. While we know backlighting can be dramatic, thank you, Mr. President, for our purposes, proper lighting is important. In the Adobe Classroom, audio is absolutely essential. We know I'm a filmmaker, and in filming, audio is as important, if not more important, than the video image. So why? Because the most beautiful picture is meaningless if the audio isn't clear. In our video conferencing, what we do with our audio can have major effects, because everyone else is experiencing what we're experiencing. So mute and unmute your phones, and muting deadens that extra noise on the line and helps promote clear audio. Use headphones to spare yourself fatigue in holding on to a phone for hours, and don't use your speakerphone, because if it's on, it creates audio problem. So whether you're using a cell phone, a wired phone, put your headphones on.
I'm going to record.
And here's a problem.
An echo sound.
And you start to hear a high pitch because of the closeness of the microphone and the speakers. This is what happens when you don't mute your speakers on your computer and on your speakerphone, because you create a feedback loop between your speakers on the computer, your telephone, your speakerphone, and the whole chain of telephones that are on an audio conferences. Echo or latency really is distracting, and it can cause you to lose track of what you're trying to say and what anyone else is trying to say. Here's another example. There's something called clipping, when there are so many people on the line that it's picking up the silence or the room tone or whatever is happening from somebody else's line, and it clips the conversation in your own voice. And so the words aren't all coming through. I'm sure we've all experienced this many times. There's something called clipping, when there are so many people on the line that up the silence or whatever is happening from this line clips the conversation in your own voice. And so the words all coming through. I'm sure we've all many times. So the solution to avoid clipping as much as possible is to mute your phone if you're not the one talking. Now, connections. When we're doing a video conference, we're using our laptop and either the embedded camera or an external webcam with a microphone. But we don't often think about the connections, and you may or may not be aware that the type of connection you have really affects the quality of your connection. The little symbol on the left is the symbol for Wi-Fi. And the image on the bottom, opposite connections on the bottom to the right, shows a green plug going into the back of a laptop, and that's for a DSL line. I come from a 30-year background in the telecommunications industry. I would never trust Wi-Fi to be 100% available and reliable. And whether that's for our practicum or residencies, but especially not for a dissertation defense. A student recently was defending her dissertation and was dropped from Adobe Connect 3 times. Have you ever experienced being dropped from an Adobe Connect session? My guess would it would be caused by your being connected via Wi-Fi rather than by DSL. So let's talk about media and engagement. Be involved. Be involved in your seminars. And from here, let's actually move to the Adobe Connect platform. So there are different configurations. While faculty have overall responsibility for the configurations of the seminar in the Adobe sessions, you actually have an opportunity when you're presenting to call for a configuration that is most suitable for the way in which you need to present material, or to ask a question or hold a discussion. Now, depending on whether or not your faculty is willing, you can change the layout configuration that works for you the best. And if you notice in the upper right hand and along the right hand, there are configurations that are shown. One is called sharing, which you actually see in front of you. Another one called discussion, which opens up more chat area and notes and things like that. One called collaboration, where you can break people, a group of people, let's say there's 20 of you on the line, you can break them into groups of 4 or 5 and give them their own area for collaboration, or also have everybody on the line and have a whiteboard that people can actually add their ideas to. And then I have one that I've made as a faculty member called dissertation. And since this happens to be a screenshot of my own faculty meeting room for students, I use this dissertation one as a practice area for people trying to do a dry run through their dissertation defense. Whiteboards are very easy to use. They're easy to set up, they're easy to type on, easy to make marks on, and so if you need to draw or graph something to help make your point, Adobe can make that possible with a whiteboard. We often take time to share presentations or papers, but uploading documents, PowerPoints, and images take time. It's best to upload before the seminar or during a break in the seminar. Our time is really precious when we're together. So you can share your computer screen as well, but be aware, while Adobe Connect is a pretty good provider of security, it's not perfect, and sharing your screen makes you vulnerable. Further, the fast pace you see on your screen is not the same view that your audience has. There's a lag time. So you need to factor in that lag or delay and keep pace with your audience. You might have to ask them to give you feedback as to what they're seeing. You may be, if you decide to show your PowerPoint from your screen, from your own computer screen, which I do not recommend, you might be on slide 5 and they're only on slide 3. So you need some feedback from them. Documents and media. You'll see that you have choices under Share My Screen, Share My Documents, Share Whiteboards, Recently Shared. If you've uploaded your document and you've just said Presentation 1, and everybody has been uploading their document and their documents say Presentation 1, you may not be able to find your presentation. So on any PowerPoint or any document, PDF, whatever it is, put your name, the course number, and the session. You might even put a date on it to make sure that it's a current version. PDFs, you may not know that you can take a PowerPoint presentation and export it as a PDF. And a PDF is a very good file to use because it actually is an Adobe product, like the Adobe Connect platform we're on. And so it's very compatible to changes. The other thing, you should put very few bells and whistles on your presentation. No flaming transitions or dissolves, no noises on the presentation, as Adobe will not be able to translate that. And if it can't translate it, you may end up with artifacts, or otherwise known as garbage, on your presentation, and it will not be the best looking file. So when you're doing presentations over Adobe Connect, keep them very simple, very clean. And if you really want to assure that you get a good transition, convert your PowerPoint into a PDF. If you want to show a video, MP4 files do not convert at all. There's a workaround. You could upload your video to YouTube, or if there's a YouTube video that you want to show, you can do that by linking it within the web link pod on Adobe Connect. Again, if you take a look at all these uploads, Demo 1 PDF, Demo 1 PowerPoint, Demo 1 PowerPoint, which one is the one that's yours? It may have been uploaded by 3 different students. If you know it was the PDF, well, then you can opt out by process of elimination. But you need to have your name and the seminar number on it, and maybe what the description of the paper. And presentations take time to upload. I've mentioned this before, but it's really important to get them uploaded. They usually are pretty big files. So upload before your seminar is the best, and if you can upload during a break is also acceptable. And if you upload when somebody else is presenting, you knock their presentation offline. So consider the effects of your actions. And consider using the technology in ways to communicate and dialogue better. Some things I continue to reflect on. Should we use precious time together, listening and viewing something we could have seen earlier, what we call asynchronously? We could record our presentations and just talk about the key elements of it. Do we need to consider new ways of engaging in deep dialogue on what we're learning? Does the technology now provide us time for reflection and the opportunity to listen as well as to speak in whatever modality, artistically, in music, or in sound? If you want to engage your colleagues, polling is a great way to get feedback and to generate discussion. And you could use this as a way to test dissertation questions, for example, when you're trying to get some feedback from your dissertation proposal and on your committee. It's a way to put it forward to them. So viewing a screen for hours is tiring. It's important to take breaks, and chopping, or pacing our presentations so that there's enough time for questions, for reflection, and a pause to break from looking at a computer screen is really important. We know that communications is more than utterance. So it's more than text, it's more than just the voice. There are gestures, there's how you present yourself, and eye contact, the framing, the modulation of your voice, being professional. And consider this, as a digital medium, you could be recorded at any time and shown to the world at large. So engage. Consider how you present yourself and the surroundings that make a statement about you. Timeliness, lighting, audio, preparation. Put some light on yourself so that people can see who you are. And consider how you present yourself and the surroundings and what the statement is saying about you. Make sure that you have a good connection, that you're not trying to use a cell phone that's going to run down, the battery's going to wear out. So if you need to, plug in your cell phone so it's continuously charging. And as leaders in education, we are connected, we communicate, we are engaged, and this is just the beginning of our educational revolution. Thank you very much.